Hello everyone, welcome to Code2CloudX. Today we are going to install Docker on our local system. Since Docker is the most important tool for containerization, we all know, right? We must install it before we start working with containers, microservices, and DevOps workflows. So in the last video, we discussed the Docker architecture where we understood the three main components of Docker. What was that? That was Docker client, Docker host, Docker registry. So if you haven't watched that video yet, I highly recommend watching it first so you can clearly understand today's topic. So without Docker installed, it will be difficult to practice the concept that we are going to watch in the upcoming videos. So first, what we have to do, first you have to open your browser and you have to go to the official website, that is docker.com. Once you land on the home page, you will see an option called Download Docker Desktop. Here you will find download option based on your operating system. In my case, I am using Windows, so this option I have selected and it's already installed on my machine. If you are using Mac, download this option. Okay. So once you click on the download button, the Docker Desktop installer will start downloading automatically. And after the download is complete, the installation process is very simple. What you have to do? Just you have to double click on the downloaded installer file and you have to follow the installation wizard, right? And after that only you have to do click next, next and finish. So once the installation is completed, Docker Desktop will be installed on your system. But during installation, if you face any issue during installations, Docker provides very clear documentations. You can click on get started and then select learn how to install Docker. If you will click on that, this will redirect you to the official documentation website where you will find detailed installation instructions. So here you can see. So next step, install Docker Desktop and install Docker Desktop on Windows, Mac, Linux. So for if you have to check for Windows, so you will click on that and here you will get the detailed information. So one thing you have to keep in mind before installing Docker, these minimum requirements. Make sure your system meets these minimum requirements. First one is that one should 64-bit processor and another one is 4 GB system RAM. So these are the minimum requirements to run Docker smoothly. But if you still face any issue, you can also get help from troubleshoot section here. So you can also refer Stack Overflow or Docker community forums. You can take help from there as well. So thousands of developers actively help there to resolve Docker related problems. Okay. So once your Docker desktop will be installed in your local system, you will see a sign in option, right? Since I have already created an account, it automatically logs me in. You can see here. So, so inside your account, you have a section hub. So when you will click on explore, it will redirect you to a hub.docker.com. So Docker Hub is the official Docker registry where we can download Docker images. So if you can see here, we have multiple uploaded Docker images for Python, for Nginx, MySQL, Postgres, Mongo, right? And you can also upload your own Docker image as like this. And you can manage your repository as well. So for example, if you look here, I have already uploaded one of my, okay, that's fine. And if you will go my hub, so you can see I have already uploaded one of my Docker images, right? And one more thing, since I have already created an account, but in your case, if you don't have a Docker Hub account, you can easily create one. You only need username, email, and password, and there is no need to add credit card details for the basic plan. If you will go to the plan upgrade plan, if you will click here, so Docker Hub provides multiple plans. So currently I am using Docker personal plan, which cost is $0. So with this plan, we can create unlimited public repositories, which is more than enough for learning purpose. So, however, in real companies and production projects, organizers usually use paid plans because they need private repositories to securely store their Docker images. So, in the personal plan, we can only store images in public repositories, which is completely fine for learning purpose. So later, okay. So later in this course, we will also learn how to create our own repository, how to push Docker images to Docker Hub as well. Fine. If you observe the download numbers, it's a 1 billion plus download, right? So this clearly shows how widely Docker is used by developers all over the world. And that is exactly why learning Docker is extremely important, especially if you are working with microservices and modern DevOps environment. So now let's try. If you will see MySQL, so here you can see Docker Hub will show us the command required to download it, right? So to download this image into our local system, we just need to run a simple command docker pull and MySQL with version name. And that's it. The Docker image will be downloaded to our local machines. So in the upcoming videos, we will deep dive into Docker commands and understand them in detail. We can store our own Docker images. We can download the images created by others, as I showed you. If any other developers already uploaded their image, if it is public, so we can download and we can use that image. So you will find ready to use Docker images available on Docker Hub. Now let's verify whether Docker is installed successfully or not. So to do that, open your terminal, open the command prompt and run command docker version. So once you run this command, Docker will display version details for both Docker client and Docker server. Docker client and Docker server. So as we discussed in the previous video, when you install Docker desktop, both the client and server components are installed automatically, and the Docker client runs on our host operating system. In my case, the host operating system is Windows. But if you look carefully at the Docker server, you will see that it is running on Linux, right? So this happens because when you install Docker on Windows or Mac, Docker internally creates a lightweight Linux virtual machine. So inside that Linux virtual machine, the Docker engine or Docker server runs. So this is exactly the concept we discussed earlier when we talked about containers and virtualizations. So I hope your Docker installation is completed successfully. If you face any issue during installation, you can search for solutions online, check existing discussions, or you can take help from troubleshoot section on Docker website, or either you can ping me if you face any issue during installations. So in the next video, we will learn how to create Docker image, how to run containers from an image, and how to push our Docker images to Docker Hub. So stay tuned, and if you found this video helpful, please like, share, and subscribe to Code2CloudX. See you in the next video.